Welcome everyone to another episode of Big Brain MMA podcast, episode 52. I'm pretty sure. I'm your host, BigSteve. We've got Fight Night Bats back for two in a row. Just surprised me. Have no problem having him back on. The people love his appearance. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good. You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. You're right. You're about to go to bed. I just woke up, so nice little time difference. Don't mind it
Yeah.
at all. I'm pretty high on some extremely black coffee. So yeah, just stepping through this Bellator card. I think personally probably better spots than, well, I can't say that actually because I don't have many bets compared to UFC, but better fights for sure, a higher level. And now I've got some props that have opened up, and I'm curious because what are you going to say? And we haven't discussed much, so really interested to get into it. I'm not going to pull up Topology, just trying something new today. If the people want the fights up in Topology, then you can let me know. But it makes my laptop freeze less, and just can't be bothered. Whatever. So we'll get straight into it if you're okay with that, mate.
Yeah, let's go, man.
Not waste any more time. Ethan Hughes, the GOAT, versus Yusuf Karakaya. Interesting fight. Bit of line movement. Karakaya, a bit of a kickboxing background. And it's flipped now. Now he's the favorite. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I skipped this fight when I had a look on Tapology, and I think it was you who told me to take a look at Karakai. Obviously, he opened as a sizable underdog, and now he's the fucking favorite. So obviously, a lot of money's come in. But yeah, so I taped it, and I like the Hughes side, to be honest. Someone said that he was fighting Nicky Holtzen in kickboxing when he was 20, but I watched the fight, and he literally just got the piss beat out of him. So I don't put too much stock into that. He's mainly a Muay Thai guy. His last fight on Tapology was 2018. He's had one fight. The guy was 0-0. So yeah, a lot of question marks, man. And we at least know on the Hughes side that he's got a bit of experience over like 10 fights. He's won in a Bellator fight, so he's been there before. No octagon jitters. And I think he's going to finish this after round one. I've seen some poor cardio from the Karakai. So yeah, I'm on the Hughes side, man.
Where did you see the poor cardio? Just out of curiosity.
It was I don't know the name. The kickboxing fights, yeah, the Muay Thai fights he was having. He's just there, man. He's like a punch bag in every fight I've seen. Have you seen anything different, like contrarian to that?
No, I agree. He's got the Dutch style, come forward, hands up, high guard. So he's willing to eat shots on the guard and on the head, and just looks to counter. So, but in that MMA fight, he was a little bit different. He was kind of staying on the outside and didn't want to engage too much. I think that's the kickboxing experience. He wasn't reckless like an idiot like Sebi. Just that guy just blew his gas tank ASAP. But yeah, there's a lot in this fight, man. There's a lot of guessing, and I just played it because it's essentially a man versus a boy, a chubby boy in Hughes who shouldn't be fighting at this weight class. And, just the athleticism and the $2.60 underdog price that I got. I wasn't really confident. I was looking at more information. He's been training at Tiger Muay Thai when he was 24, and kickboxing, I think he finished his record on like 17-5. Yeah, he got the shit kicked out of him by, Nicky, but that's going to happen, when you're a 20-year-old guy going against one of the best kickboxers ever. But yeah, just a lot of questions. I think I just might arb out now. Like, I don't even want to play. I didn't want to play Hughes because in his second pro fight, a couple of leg kicks and he was done. He was like limping from leg kicks, and the guy just fell apart. He got his back and choked him out. If this guy can just stay on the outside and leg kick, might even knock him out. Yeah, just a ton of questions on this fight. But yeah, I don't know what his cardio is going to be like. I don't know what his grappling cardio is going to be like. The last fight, like you said, was 2019. Yeah, I think it's a dog or pass either way. Maybe the under could be good. Either way because despite Hughes seeming like he's got a bit of a heart and, he'll fight for your money, hasn't really faced much adversity. Whenever he's, like I said, in that fight where he got leg kicked a couple of times, he was looking rough, man. He was only 3 minutes in and he was falling apart, bloody nose. He's just a kid, so yeah, I'll probably just arb out a little bit. You know, find the best Hughes line, Hughes
Yeah,
dog line, and then just try win money either way.
he's nothing special, Hughes. I just don't like the amount of red flags there are on Karakai, man. You know, the fact he's only had the one MMA fight, it was in 2018. Like, it should really just be a pass fight, innit? You can't trust Hughes, and you don't want to bet Karakai because of the red flags. But when you get a nice line like you did, which was obviously wide when it opened, I guess you got to take it, man. Just take the shot.
That's the thing. Pass is probably the best thing. I didn't even have confidence back then. It's just the beating the massive CLV. That's what drags me in a lot of the times. You know what I mean? And I've been burned by, you know, I've written it down in my notes. You know, don't get carried away by beating the CLV. Doesn't mean it's a good bet.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's move on. Under is probably a good play, but it's a little bit juiced. Let me address this comment. FIFA Gaming, BigSteve, are you going to the UFC? Mate, I found heaps of tickets on Gumtree, but they're like $600, $800. I thought about it, and then it's like another $800 for the flights to Perth, and some of the tickets are back row. And when I went last time, it was hard to live bet from the back row, and then I got to think about accommodation. So I'm looking at $1,500 just for the trip alone, and then, you know what, I'd rather just stay at home and gamble on and watch it on TV because I love live betting and I'm missing out this week. So unless I can find a ticket for $200, then yeah, I'll go. Pepe Silvia, your favorite mate. BigSteve, don't be a pussy. Yeah, look, you got me. I'll keep the bet. All right. Isaiah Hockett versus Peter Ishiguro. You mentioned this fight to me, mate. Take it away.
Yeah, I think the over is good in this one. I think that was at even money. Just having a look now. Yeah, the over 2.5, that was plus 180, plus 190. I think that Hockett obviously is a good wrestler. But I think on the other side, Ishiguro, he's a BJJ guy, so he's not going to get submitted. He's a good grappler. He's shown that in his fights. He doesn't have the best record, but I think he can at least survive here for the 1.5 and cash the plus money. And yeah, maybe even play the fight goes the distance. I think that's something stupid, like plus 180. So yeah, the over in that fight is what I'd hit, man.
Yep, that makes sense. Probably the safest play. That's the one bet. That's the one option on my whole Bet365, the Bellator, that there's no over-unders yet. I think they know that people want to hit it, so they're holding it back.
Sometimes they're late with Bellator on these smaller cards to release the lines. Sometimes it's the day of the fight, man.
Well, dude, I've got literally every other bet from Chris Gonzalez, the women's, or the fight with Ethan Hughes, all the way to the main event. There's only one little spot for the Isaiah Hockett fight. There's no over-unders.
Okay.
But they'll bring him out. They'll bring him out when it's probably way too juiced. But yeah, I took a little small stab on the dog, like the tiniest little thing, $150. I was gonna pass completely. After seeing Peter getting knocked out by Caspel, and Caspel's underrated, man. I put a little $100 on him against the guy that he just beat when he was paying. It was a $6 underdog.
Nice.
He's not bad. He's a good finisher too. And then after that, he had a decision win over another grappler, which I can't find because he was on the post limbs. And I was like, you know what? You can go the decision. He has been knocked out in his amateurs and he's been armbarred in his amateurs. So I'm like, maybe this guy's a bit of likes to get finished. But yeah, I was gonna pass, and then seeing Hockett in that fight where he was dominating that dude, he just gassed out in like 3 minutes. And he still couldn't finish him. He punches. He's a weak puncher, and even then, that guy took him down and took his back right before he finished him. I was like, "Whoa, red flag city!" And when he got up, Isaiah was gassed. He was tired. So I was like, "Okay, let's say this fight gets extended. They both have wrestling backgrounds. They're both good grapplers. He gasses out, and then the $4.60 underdog line is massive value. Like the only way he covers his $1.20 is if he runs through him in 30 seconds or in the first round. I don't think that's going to happen here because he can't punch. I don't think he's the best submission guy. He likes to strike. He trains at Greg Jackson, red flag. Just a tiny poke. I'm going to be more upset if I pass and he won than if I lose $150. I won't care whatsoever. So tiny little poke. I saw some things that I like. I think he's green. Last time he was a massive favorite. He got sparked in 10 seconds by Samuels, who's also horrible. So you can't go wrong. So I played it. Played a dog.
Yeah. He was kind of beating Caspel as well.
He was
until he got that knee. So his record ain't that bad, man.
He was wrestling him. He was wrestling the crap out of him. But yeah, Caspel is he's a bit easy to wrestle and whatnot. He's just a dangerous dude though.
Yeah, he's big for the weight class too, man.
Yeah, he's massive, man. Alrighty, Jalen Bates versus Jonel Lugo. Yeah, I see a lot of people on Bates. I know initially when I taped this fight, before it got scrapped, I was going to lay the juice on Lugo at minus 200. He's just a lot more well-rounded and better IQ, and he seems a lot more advanced in his career. Bates just does a lot of flaky and amateur stuff to me. He still does green things. Very tall, noodly, not physical. Can be taken down. He's on his ass a lot. Throws against Chris Disonel. Kept throwing kicks and falling on his ass. It's like not concerned about being on his back, which is not what you want to see. I get it. He's a massive underdog. Lugo has also been in close fights before. He's got a great jab and leg kick, and he backs up a lot, so he can have close fights. The more fight was a lot closer than I thought it was. UD was pretty generous in my opinion. I think he got a bit lucky there because Moore was pressuring him and he cracked him a bit. But yeah, it's a dog or pass. The line is just a bit crazy on Lugo now. I think Lugo can even finish him with a rear naked choke. The over-under here is... I hate that Bet365 is not in actual fight order. It's just all over the place. You can't actually find the fight. There we go. Yeah, the under is, plus money, $2.30. I think they think this is just going to go over. A little bit of interest.
Yeah. I think it likely goes over. Like, the most logical outcome is Lugo by decision. I do think Bates is sub or bust. I haven't got a massive opinion on it, but yeah, he gives up takedowns, and if he doesn't get that submission off his back, I don't think he's like out wrestling Lugo here. So yeah, Lugo should have his way, but I don't think he'll get a finish. Probably decision. Boring fight.
100%. He does like to fight boring, Lugo. Good to bet on though.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I have a bit more of a stronger opinion here. Darian Caldwell versus Nikita Mikhailov. I think this is a dog or pass for me. I taped this probably more than I should have. Caldwell is definitely the bigger, stronger athlete, the better wrestler. He's got chokes. He's dangerous. He skirts on the outside and just waits for his time to shoot in. He does the old Devin Clark striking that we mentioned yesterday. Just kicks and just waits to dive in. Nikita's also got his flaws, man. He's also young and he's also a bit gassy. I know MMA maths is not the best thing to use, but if you want to compare it, Nikita didn't have any success whatsoever against Barzola. I laid the juice on Barzola there. He was gassed about 2 minutes in. I also had Barzola round 3 sub, which made me pull my hair out. It's one of the most frustrating bets I've ever seen. He also almost submitted him in round 1, and when he didn't, I was like, this is over in round 3. And he just, not only did he have his back, he had a fully locked in rear naked choke under the neck, under the chin, and he couldn't finish it. So Barzola's known for this rubbish, having bad submission finishing ability. I went on Sherdog and I just started trolling him and saying you should come to my white belt jiu-jitsu class, learn how to finish a rear naked. I've never been that tilted in my life before. He's just a young kid, and even against Brian Moore, he was taking Brian Moore down, and he put himself in a reverse triangle. He put himself in a rear naked choke in round 3, and the fight finished with him getting armbarred. Like, this kid, Barzola couldn't finish it, but Darian Caldwell has a ton of guillotines, man. Like, he ran through Borix with the rear naked choke.
Yeah.
If he does this to Darian Caldwell, the guy's going to choke him out, and I definitely think Caldwell can win round 1. Pardon me. Just a more physical guy. I get it. You being scared of, not you, just like the viewers being scared of playing Darren, gassy and, flakes and he's given up. But what Barzola did to him, Mikhail doesn't do that. Barzola's got the pressure and putting on the ground and pound when the opponent can't move, when he's gassed. Mikhail's probably going to get reversed and just going to be gassed himself, and it's going to be a wild scrambling fight. I think on 2 judges' scorecards, Caldwell was up 2-0 against Barzola, and that was the last fight, and that was a bantamweight, especially a bantamweight. He was muscling people around with featherweight. So it's a dog or pass for me. I haven't hit it yet. I'm hoping more money comes in on Mikhail, because I see a lot of people wanting to fade Caldwell. I just don't think he's ready for this kind of level of opponent. Like I said, Barzola, just absolutely mauled him 3-0 and almost finished him. If he had any sort of finishing ability, he would have rear naked choked him in round 2. Whereas Caldwell, was taken down in round 1, but then reversed Barzola, and then Barzola couldn't get up and took him down in round 2, and then he just kind of gassed out. So yeah, and then the other thing I'm looking at is the under. The under is quite generous. $2.50, right? They both put their head in necks. They put their necks in chokes, pardon me. I had too much coffee. I'm all over the place with my words. My vocabulary is usually pretty crap, but it's next level this morning. The only finish loss on Nikita's record is by triangle, 2017. He was a young kid. But yeah, just multiple sub attempts. Caldwell's flaked multiple times to guillotines and rear naked chokes. So I think the under there could be potentially good. But yeah, that's my little take. What do you reckon, mate?
Yeah, Caldwell, he has been a liability lately in his fights. He's gassing a little bit, kind of quitting in there. But yeah, he should beat this guy all day, man. There's a bit of worry, with he's 36 now. He is putting himself into bad positions, getting subbed. But I think, he should take this one. He's a far better wrestler. I think he's a better wrestler than Barboza. And Barboza had success with the wrestling. So yeah, I'm on Caldwell, man. I like the line. I've just had a look. It's still a plus 130 range. So I think you got to bet the dog in this situation, man.
What do you say?
Yeah, I think you said, man, this Russian guy, he hasn't really fought anybody. I've seen him on bottom in most of his fights. I think Caldwell can have wrestling success. And like you said, he may even get a rear naked choke or something late, man. Or catch a guillotine.
100%, man. I feel like the finishing upside early is on all Caldwell's side. And if they both gas out, and the round 1 equity is strong for Caldwell. There's no way, this guy's stuffing a takedown early.
Yeah.
But, he's young, he's improving, who knows. But the way he fell apart against Barzola, it was maybe 3 minutes in, he was done. He was fighting, he was still getting up, got a takedown in round 2 on Barzola, but it was just instant reversal. All right. So yeah, one of the same side. It's very good. Just a ton of comments popped up. Best guest yet. More fight night bets on future episodes, please. Timo's the man. We'll see, mate. We'll see how he acts. I'll bring him back on. I'm going to pass on some of these trolling comments. My favorite capper is back again. Let's go, Large Steve. Triple fire. I've got fans too. Let's go. Fight night bets. You're all right too. Missing topology. Let me know if you prefer this or you prefer topology. I just chose to mix it up a little bit. What did that pop up? I didn't click on that. Pick 'em probably more appropriate for. Yeah, I think even Caldwell will be a slight favorite personally. I don't know what you think, mate.
Sorry, what was that? Caldwell being favorite?
Potentially, yeah.
I don't know, man. The line doesn't seem to be going anywhere. When it's 2 days away. Nah, I think it closed probably 120 maybe.
No, I just mean like what you would cap it at personally.
Oh, if he was favorite.
Yeah. Do you think? What do you cap the fight at? Like, do you think Caldwell should be a favorite?
No, it's probably right. With his age and the fact he's lost his last few fights. No, I think it's about right at what it's at, man.
Fair enough. Well, then probably shouldn't we play then, eh? Alrighty, next fight. Beautiful fight. Diana Avzaragova versus Alejandra Lara. It's beautiful in other ways. It's great. If you're an ass man, it's a great fight to take. But yeah, I had a little bit on Alejandra Lara as a dog, and I just said, what am I doing? I just cashed it out. He's just can't trust her. Do you have any strong takes?
Not strong, no. Just that I can't trust Lara, so I don't mind a bet on this Diana girl. She's shown some good body lock takedowns. She's not bad at wrestling. She seems to have a bit of power in her hands. So yeah, I think she's still underdog, isn't she, Diana?
Oh, in some books, it's
yeah. It's moving to a proper pick'em. Yeah, I don't mind a bet on Diana, but it's women's MMA. Just stay away. You can't really trust either of them.
Yeah. If Lana was a bit more of a bigger dog, I would have definitely taken a stab. I think she has all the finishing upside, and Diana's just fought nobodies and just going relatively close with him as well. Split decision to that bum in her second last fight.
Yeah.
and relatively, yeah, she got 30-27 on against that other Hoey girl that just puts up nudes photos on her Twitter.
She's so dumb though, Lara. Like
She
round
is
one,
horribly dumb.
okay. After round one, she just goes fucking full retard, man. Puts herself in
Lara
stupid.
is she's the epitome of women's MMA in a fighter. She is the perfect. That's you want to see why you don't bet on women's MMA? Just watch Lara. You know, just throwing stupid crap. When she when she hurt that Vergara girl, she just flew in with a diving elbow or something, missed and just fell on her back. I thought, what am I watching, dude? This is insanity. But she's got her she's got the aggression and the grit, which is why I wanted to play her against this girl that stays on the outside. But I just think she could potentially get counted all day. And even though the Russian doesn't wrestle, she wrestled on the regionals. If she doesn't wrestle, I think she could still end up on her back. She's that bad. And then she's pulling your hair out. Yeah, I just didn't want to play anything here. Let's move on. Alrighty, I think you have a take here. Grant Neal versus King Carl. Take it away, mate.
Yeah, I like the Grant Neal side here. I like him as an underdog. Yeah, he's still plus 120 range. I bet on Carl a few times in his career. He's 28 now, but in fighting years, he's really like 38. He's been around a while. His game's pretty limited. He's looking for the takedown, wants to lay on you, doesn't mind winning the decisions. And yeah, if you quit on him, he'll happily take a finish. But yeah, if he can't get them takedowns, his striking's very limited, man. And I think Neal is explosive. I've seen in his fights he does have decent wrestling, both defensively and offensively. So I think he can stop these, cage pressing tactics by Carl. And I don't mind him by KO either, man. I think he could KO Carl. I think I see Carl declining a lot. He got finished in his last fight. And yeah, just not as strong as he used to be, man. So yeah, I like Neal, man. Good underdog.
Nice, man. Nice. I was just getting my charger, so can you repeat the whole breakdown again? Sorry. I'm kidding. Yeah, it's a dog or pass for me as well. I haven't come around to it. I don't know what's stopping me. Carl, some of his fights, he looks all right. Just like, he can take anyone down. He's heavy on top. He's quite big. And I think his striking definitely looks better on the eye than Grant Neal. Grant's got that all, winging and blitzing in style because he's quite short, explosive. Carl's kind of has the nicer punches, the 1-2s. He works the body. He's extremely hittable, super, super hittable. And he's got that, stupid blonde afro, just always going left and right every time he gets cracked. And yeah, like I said, sometimes it looks good. Like I cashed him as a decent dog against Nemkov's crappy brother. Didn't play the Yashimura fight, but I mean, beating Yashimura was impressive as well. I think Yashimura is a bit underrated, but he doesn't have a good takedown defense, whereas I think Grant Neal does. Yeah, and
definitely.
I faded Grant Neal against old mate as well. What's his name? I thought he won that 29-28, just retaping. I thought Polizzi was a bit lucky, I was a bit lucky to get that decision as well. But Carl, I think Carl's big. I don't know. It's a tough fight. It's definitely dog or pass.
I think Carl will have success in the first round. When he's fresh, and it's a good live betting opportunity. I think Carl will have success in the first round, be kind of even. But I do see Grant catching him. Carl will slow down if the takedowns don't keep coming. And he doesn't have a high finishing rate. So even if he does get Neal down, it's starting back on the feet in round 2 and he's got to do it all over again. I think Carl is more likely to slow down than Neal is. So yeah, I can see him having success, maybe even getting a takedown first round. But then round 2, when Neal comes out, I think that's it then. It's all Neal.
Yeah. I like his you can play him alone because I've never seen any quit in Neal and he'll fight for your money. Whereas on Carl's side, we've seen him multiple times, right? That Moore fight was apparently he said he had depression for that Moore fight. I mean, red flag city. But just before that, he looked horrible. He was so slow. But it's just his tape is all over the place. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. I guess it's kind of like the Moreno figure. You can just blind bet Moreno because there's a chance a figure could come out and look absolutely horrendous. So yeah, that's probably going to be played for me, man. I was just hoping more money would come in on Carl. But yeah, even the under there. This whole card, I'm eyeing these unders at big plus money. under 2.5. For Carl to flake. And Grant Neal has good rear naked chokes, good back takes. So potentially, he could flake and get submitted again.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Jesus, there's a lot of comments. Let's move on. We'll address them later. Chris Gonzalez, Max Roshkov. This one's me. I don't know, man. I favor Chris Gonzalez, I guess. Not at -200. Jury's still out on him. I've never liked him too much. He's just kind of like a one-dimensional wrestler. And then Max Roshkov, is copping a lot of slack. I just can't tell how good his wrestling is. Can he take Gonzalez down? Possibly. Toko took him down multiple times. Someone else took him down as well. I can't remember now off the top of my head, but I've had it in my notes. And I want to see Max, against a high-level opponent. He didn't gas out wrestling that guy in Cage Warriors for 3 rounds. But what happens if he faces more resistance? Yeah, just another show me fight. I want to see how Max does. I'm inclined to believe that Chris is not going to get caught in one of his front headlock series, but I just don't know. It's these odds will rather play Max. Honestly, I just don't trust Chris Gonzalez. But yeah, it's a pass. Overall pass fight for me. What about you?
Yeah, I agree, man. Might as well take Max. I don't think you should be playing Gonzalez at minus like 180. But yeah, it's a pass for me. We've seen from Max. He quit on the store, man. I don't know if I can ever trust that again in a fight that's kind of 50-50. So yeah, pass for me.
Yeah, fair enough. We agree. The people were just clamoring on for Tipology, so it's back. This is democracy. So whatever the people want, the people will get. Let's move on. Steve Mowry, Ali Asayev. Now this is the one fight I literally haven't touched. Like I said to you offline, I still expect this fight to get pulled. Every time I tape Ali Asayev for PFL, he's pulled out in the recent years. He's Russian. I'm expecting visa issues, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. And the line's moved. It's pick 'em now. The unders seems enticing even without any tape. Do you have any thoughts on this fight, mate?
I wanted to play Ali, but he's old and I've seen him gas. Even when he has success, which I think he would. Well, I think he will in this fight. I think he will get his takedown. I think he'll win round 1, but I don't trust that he just dies in round 2 or 3. So yeah, I've got a pass, man. Yep. I think he's a far better wrestler, and that's usually how Mowry wins. He takes people down, uses his side, and submits them. So yeah, pass, man.
Yep. Mowry did not look good against Moldavsky. I think this could be a similar type matchup. So yeah, just not interested in touching it really. Kai Agakai says a comment. Guys, come on, hit the like button for the boys. They deserve more than 2. We definitely deserve at least 3 or 4 likes. Come on, guys. Don't make me get rid of Topology again. All right. Last prelim. Oh no, wait. There's a bunch of prelims because they haven't decided on the main card order yet. Henry Corrales, Ahmed Magomedov. You can take this one away,
mate. Maybe play Ahmed by sub. I think the line's too wide to take the money line. I don't like that. What is he? Yeah, minus 500. Crazy. So yeah, maybe take him by submission or by KO if that's your thing. He should definitely win here. Corrales is old now. He's going to get taken down. He's shown that's his weakness. Getting subbed. Just go check out his record. So yeah, play the Russian bite in the distance if that's your thing, man.
Yeah, that's the first over under that caught my eye. It's at 2.5 rounds. And they're all a similar price, $2.40. I think the money might have come in on it. Yeah, it's just half his wins are by decision, half are by sub. He hasn't subbed a lot of good guys, and Corrales has decent takedown defense and decent get-ups. He's survived 3 rounds with Colwell, never really gave his back up. I think that the Campbell fight, he got cracked bad and then just got submitted shortly afterwards. That Vralislav Parabchenko dude, that guy's a fraud. He's just a decision machine. The Ukrainian guy that he stuck and moved for 3 rounds. And Aiden Lee never got close to a takedown. Yeah, I just think I get it. It's probably it's plus money just because Henry Corrales can probably survive, do what it does, but he's been submitted a lot. He's been guillotined a bunch of times. So that's probably the best value, but I have to look into it some more. All I could find was all the good opponents I could find against Magomedov. He was just kind of grinding on him, taking him down. Hasn't really got close to a submission, but these are like really good Russian guys on Brave FC, really good anti-grapplers. Corrales is now 36. So yeah, I have to look into it some more, but it's the under there that I'm looking at. Let's move on, smashing through this. Lorenz Larkin versus Magomed Berkamov. This is the rematch. You have any strong takes?
Yeah, I like Larkin. I think I bet him in the first fight. I like his UFC experience. He's fought a lot of guys in his career who've looked to take him down in the fight. So he's well adversed in takedown defense. He's had many training camps. Which was heavy set on wrestling. I think the Russian kind of quit in the first fight. What was it? An eye poke, some type of foul. I just remember
elbows back of the head.
Elbows, yeah, on the takedown. So yeah, I was extremely pissed off at the time. I was like, this fucking pussy's gonna quit here, man. And I'm not fucking, trying to take the piss out of him. But to be fair, I did think he milked it, So yeah, I bet Larkin again. Is the short of it. Bet him by KO also. I think he's going to negate the takedowns and get his KO, keep it on the feet. I think there's a huge disparity in the stand-up. So yeah, Larkin, man.
Nice. I bet him too, just because I knew the line would move. It was $3. Now it's $2.80, coming in a little bit.
Yeah, nice.
I'm not sure. What was that, pardon me?
Nice line, isn't it?
It is, half a unit to win a unit. I like it when it's nice and round like that on the dogs. But it's just, I don't know if I'll keep it, man. Like, I'm wary of. I've underestimated these young Russians before. Like, I actually tried to fade him against Jalil Willis, and he took like a 3 break, and he got dropped by Willis. So I was like, this play is money. And then just Willis did Willis things and fell off the back and got instantly guillotined. It's just. Yeah, I don't like how easy he got that takedown against Larkin. I don't like the fact that Larkin went for a guillotine, low IQ move on a Russian.
Yeah,
and I don't like it took him about 2 minutes to scoot to the cage and get up. If that round ends in 2 minutes and he still gets up against the cage, it's 1-0. And I've looked at old mate's decision wins in ACB. The let me just check exactly the name. The Brazilian guy with a decent record. Ciro Rodriguez, 22-9 at the time. I watched that fight. That was his most recent fight after the 2-year layoff, and he mixed it in. He struck, he took him down, and he took him down in round 3 and had the most wrestling dominance when the other guy gassed. But he got cracked as well. So it's like he's been cracked by Willis. He got cracked there. It's like, I don't know. I think from what I've seen in Larkin, man, his resume is pretty impressive. He won against Andrei Koreshkov, right, and he almost knocked him out. He kicked the crap out of Nakamura. He's beat like Pescu, Koreshkov, Nakamura, 3 grapplers in a row, and had a split decision with Carvalho, but that was a middleweight. Ran through Carl Stewart. So it's just you watch his tape and you're like, there's got to be spades of value on Larkin. Despite him being 36 and despite getting taken down, I just feel like it's going to be a close fight. Can he get a KO? Potentially. It's just I haven't seen much from this Bekhamov guy. I'm flopping. I'm flopping back and forth. Deep down, I feel like there's going to be a bunch of value on Larkin, especially at the line that I got. We'll see. We'll see when I do the best bets tomorrow. And I've got an overview of what I'm keeping for PFL, what I'm keeping for Bellator, what I'm keeping for UFC. Then I'll decide. All right, I'm going to take some of these bets I'm unsure about. I don't want to lose money on them if I've got some strong confidence. But yeah, Larkin I'll pass, man. It's he's still good. He's still in his relative prime, I feel.
I just said that the Russians only had 3 fights in 5 years. Very inactive, man. I've only just realised that.
Yeah, he took a massive layoff. So 2017, he knocked out Brett Cooper, the GOAT. And then he fought that Ciro Rodriguez, which that fight is hard to find. It's ACA, but there's a Russian tube for people. Let me just tell you what it is now. I don't know what it's called. I got it bookmarked. If you find it, just put in Russian Tube. It's on there, and I was like, yeah, he's improving. You know, he can go through rounds. And then he took another 2 years off before Gilles Willis, and he looks, I guess, improved there too. It's just, I don't want to fade him. It's hard. He's in his prime, so I've been burned before fading these Russians, and then next thing you know, they're 10 times better. But yeah, dog will pass. Pass. I might even keep it. We'll see how we go. All right. Naaman Gracie, Dante Shiro. I'll let you take this one away, man. I faded Shiro against Poklit. Goat last name. And I just don't think he's that great. I think that Storley split decision was a fluke. But yeah, I don't have strong conviction on this fight. What about you?
Yeah, it's a pass fight for me, to be honest. I'm not interested in it one bit, to be honest. It seems pretty cut and dry to me.
Yeah. I think Gracie's not that guy, personally. People thought he was.
He's likely going to sub in round one. You're going to get something like plus even money if you're lucky. You can't play the money line, just pass.
But you don't even know if he's going to shoot. That's the thing. You know, he just loves to strike these days. And I think Shiro is relatively hard to sub. Is just that pot clip thing was something very unique, which I'll take. Alrighty. Do you want to take this one, or would you rather do the co-main and main event? Actually, no. I'll let you take this one. Sabah Hamasi, Brennan Ward. Just
so when I first looked at it, I immediately thought Hamasi via sub would be a nice sneaky bet, and we'd get a nice prop on that. You know, maybe something stupid, plus 700 or something. I don't think it is nowhere near that high. But yeah, I went into it thinking that Hamasi was the side. Ward, he come back after a while and he beat his last two opponents. But obviously Hamasi's a different animal. Obviously he's got experience. He's shown he's got power in his hands. He was he rocked Daly a couple of times in that fight. I remember that was a wild one. But yeah, now I'm not too sure what are the current odds.
He's minus 200 now.
Yeah, I'm not too sure I can play him at that number, man. I think Ward's even live as the underdog. You know, he's always game. He's obviously got power in his hands, good stand-up. So it's going to be a great fight, and I hope they keep it on the feet. But just something tells me Hamasi at some point will try and grapple him. Ward hits very hard. And if you look out through his career, you know, he's got plenty of KOs. So, yeah, I just think he's going to try and take him down at some point, Hamasi. So I don't hate a bet on the submission, man.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. I definitely feel he has underrated wrestling, but I wrote down here, I definitely think the Ward has the better wrestling, and it can probably get Hamasi down. The under is 200. It's quite juiced. I'm not against juiced unders, depending on who it is, and I will speak about one of the juiced unders soon. But this one, it's like both guys get gassy. Ward just like I played the under in the Cautious Clay fight, and man, he was just swinging like an idiot and just kept missing, and he just couldn't cut off the cage. And it was gassed after round one, but he was mixing in a lot of wrestling, and I think he can take some Hamasi down, and it's going to burn the clock. I would rather play Hamasi I trust him more at juice odds than Ward, because Ward has obviously always been a flake. Whenever he's had a step up, he's been finished. Paul Daly finished him, Fernando Gonzalez guillotined him. That Santos heel hook in 30 seconds, super red flag. I mean, Tendon McCrory, just the barn cat ran through him in 21 seconds. If you watch that fight, you would think McCrory was the future Bellator Hall of Famer. Just piece them up.
Hamasi does like to get wobbled though in his fights. So
he does, but he's getting wobbled by Paul Daly, Koreshkov with flying knees and stuff. I think his chin's good. Even when he had those wars with Abdul Razak Al Hassan, he was taking a lot of those punches. It took quite a lot to actually put him out.
Yeah, he's definitely game on the feet.
Yeah, I think the durability is with Hamasi, and he's a lot more trustworthy, as in he's not just going to randomly get heel hooked, et cetera, et cetera. That Koreshkov fight was quite impressive. He opened my eyes a bit. Even took, reverse Koreshkov round 3. So yeah, I'd rather play Hamasi at favorite, but not a minus 200 favorite. I was hoping more money would come in on Ward, but it seems like the sharps were like, okay, they took what they could get on Hamasi, and now it's kind of just unplayable. Now I would play Ward, but it's just, even if he wrestles, even if he's doing well, I think at some point he's just going to fall apart. He's just, as much as I love Ward, he's just, he's not that guy. He's just still flaky to me. Alrighty. Johnny Eblen versus Anatoly Tarkov. High level fight, mate. I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, I'm interested in some Johnny Eblen in this fight. I think Tarkov is dependent on takedowns in the majority of his fights. And I don't think he's going to be able to do that here at all. So the way I see it is Eblen's pretty much got 5 rounds to, maybe find a KO on the feet. And I think he very well could, maybe after round 2 when Tarkov gets discouraged because he isn't able to hit any takedowns. He likes some chokes as well. Tarkov, I've seen in his fights. I was watching one earlier. I don't think any of them are going to come into play. Eblen, he's shown in that Mousasi fight. He's pretty good everywhere. High IQ, good wrestling. And I think we're going to see him as a champ for a while, man, Eblen. I think he's got everything you need. He's a complete fighter. And I expect him to win this one. Maybe a good parlay piece. What's his odds? Minus 250? Maybe parlay him or something if that's your thing. But yeah, I fully like Eblen to win this fight. And ITD, I think that was plus 220, something like that. So yeah, Eblen.
Indeed. I wish when I take this fight, I wish I took the $1.62 on Eblen. It's just something was stopping me. I think I didn't want to underestimate Tarkov, with his record, and he looks quite good on tape. He's got the Shemenko and the Harris comebacks, and whenever he gets on top, he's very, he just finishes most of the guys. But then you dig deep, and it's like he's gassing a lot. And you look through his record. It's like, how has he amassed such a good record when he gasses so much? And he's got that Russian coast style where he doesn't really differentiate himself from anyone unless he gets a finish. And you see, he hasn't really beaten the best, and even in Bellator, Gerald Harris, that Armenian guy that he crucifixed, Sharif, the second last fight, that's his teammate, and he got, he slowed down bad, and he got taken down. He got his back taken in round 3, which is a red flag. What happens if Eblen does that? By the way, Sharif got armbarred by the guy that Larkin is fighting. So, and Tarkov couldn't really finish him. So he's just, and then Muhammad Abdullah, they're giving him nobody. So it just tells me maybe they want to pump up his record, or maybe Fedor's management is not interested in fighting tough guys, and that's probably how he's gotten to this level. I mean, his last loss is Ramazan Ameev, who's a welterweight, and he just kind of gassed him out and out-wrestled him. He does have strong hips early. So the reason I didn't play it is just like, Eblen is, he also needs to wrestle. He's got good striking, but I think Tarkov is going to be faster and more technical early. And I didn't want to play Eblen at juice just because he's got the better cardio. I've been burnt with that before, and I've made some good bets, fading bad cardio, like Aldo against Font in a 5-rounder and Vieira against Caitlin in a 5-rounder. It can surprise you and hold up still. But I just think Eblen's got a lot of intangibles, man. The chin, the power. When you look at his record, the guy doesn't lose rounds, right? Which is an underrated skill, right? 30-27 against Salter, 50-45 against Gegard Mousasi, which is, super impressive. He does not drop rounds. So I think this fight might be a little bit close early. Tarkov doing what he can. Like you said, he's got an amazing guillotine choke. You would think that Eblen's not going to get caught in that. Stranger things have happened. It is a very good 10-finger guillotine. He's got multiple variations. But yeah, I agree. I think ultimately Eblen wins. Might be a little bit slow at the start. Maybe stuff some takedowns, bit of cage push. But as the fight goes on, whenever the fight goes in round 3, Tarkov starts to show some flakiness and some cardio issues. I think at that point, Eblen can finish him. Yeah. And I was actually really looking at that finish as well myself. I just don't know if I can get behind it because there's a few fights where Eblen had his opponents on the ropes, like the Mousasi. He dropped Mousasi hard in round 1 and he was throwing hard and dropping him and just mauling him and never really close to a finish. He doesn't really go for subs. That's my thing. He's just kind of, I don't know how he's going to finish Tarkov. Maybe like a crucifix or ground and pound, but Tarkov does still get up. But yeah, the odds are not bad. Maybe I might just play some KO decision when he opens up on Bet365. I think it's going to give me a decent line.
Yeah, I don't like Tarkov's record either. Yeah, he's had 31 fights, but if you look at the first 15, it's padded as fuck, man.
It is. It's inflated. I mean, even his last fights are inflated, right? That Filipovic dude in his Bellator is a Serb guy. He's awful. Shlemenko past his prime. Joel Harris, they just brought him into Bellator for 2 fights to lose. The Armenian guy is crap. Sharif.
Harris had him on skates, man. Harris rocked him.
I know, yeah. Well, he gets rocked a lot. So I've got issues about his chin too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's quite the padded record. I wish I didn't hesitate at $1.62, but it is what it is. I still have $1,000 on my juice at -200. So we'll see if I keep it. It just feels like one of those safe, how much value is there, but yeah, it just feels like a safe, like a fight that he's going to win more often than not, unless he gets finished.
I think that'd be my best prop at the end of the card, Eblin in the distance, man.
Yeah, I like it, man. That's the first thing that popped into my head as well. Seeing just those durability issues and the cardio issues, or even 4-5 decision. If he gets grinded on and then just starts to slow down in the fourth and the fifth, that might be good as well. Alrighty, we're quite ahead of time, so I'm going to address some of these comments, and then we'll do the main event. I've got a bet for the main event, so I'll chat about it. When are you having Pepe Silvia on the show? I'm happy to have him on, mate. Just haven't got around to asking him, as long as he's down. Laura is Bellator's Gloria De Paula. I think she's even worse. Max Roshkov decision plus 500. I guess that's okay. Odds looking good on Isaev. Yeah, I will actually tape Isaev after I see that he's made it to the weigh-ins and he's weighed in. Then I'll look into it, and then I'll probably look at him as a dog or the under. Ward KO. Yeah, that's probably the best value play on the card. And my mate Kai going with Eblin. Well, you can't go wrong. Just a little bit juice now. Alrighty, main event. Ryan Bader, Fedor Emelianenko. So I was chatting to my mate Scrap, the guy that used to be on this podcast, and now he's just a little bit busy. I'm sure he'll be back. And I was saying, look, if I feel like this main event under 1.5 is going to be -200, and I'll probably hammer it at anything better than -200 or -200. And I didn't really tape the fight because it's, didn't want to play Bader at juice, how chinny he is. And the props opened up, it was literally -200. So I taped it. And what I saw is, man, Fedor is literally one punch away from being knocked out in every single fight, right? So I played the under 1.5. I prepared some stats for the podcast. So essentially, I can't find my notes now, so I'm not going to go look for them. But it's essentially, since the Mirko Krokop fight, it's like 23 out of the 23 fights, Fedor's gone over 1.5 rounds 3 times, right? So that was the Bigfoot fight, Bigfoot Silva, where he just got laid on. The Jeff Monson fight, where Fedor just decided to go to decision against Jeff Monson, and the Fabio Maldonado fight, where literally 9 out of 10 judges would have called that a round 1 KO for Fabio Maldonado if he wasn't in Russia. So essentially 24-2, right? And then in his Bellator debut, Mitrione 1 punch, Frank Mir rocked him, Ryan Bader 1 punch, and then you can't really count the fat Rampage Jackson fight. And then Tim Johnson, right? I lost money on Tim Johnson as a pick'em there. By the way, Fedor is one of my favorite fighters ever, the GOAT, and I faded him and he made me pay. And every single exchange that Tim Johnson blitzed in with, it was centimeters away from Fedor's chin, right? Centimeters. His style now is hands completely low. He puts his chin on a platter and he looks to counter you. If he's the faster guy like he was against Tim Johnson, he will knock you out. But man, every single fight's the same. He either gets knocked out with 1 punch because his hands are completely low, or he's really close, or he gets hurt and then just beats the other guy. So I feel like Bader's 1 punch away from getting a knockout here. I capped it at maybe 74%. The only risk of this going over is if Ryan Bader chooses to wrestle, right, like he has against Congo and Machida. But I just think Machida's got that tough style. He was a little bit scared to get knocked out by him again. Congo, cracked him a few times. Congo is massive, a lot longer reach, and he probably just didn't want to stand in the pocket there. And he just decided to wrestle. But even if he takes Emelianenko down, he will have no trouble. Chael Sonnen took him down with ease, middleweight. And I think he can potentially get a ground and pound finish. Or round 2, if they start standing again, he can knock him out standing there. So I'll put a unit on the under 2.5 at juice. I think it should be $1.33, which is a 75%. Yeah, I don't want to overthink it. And then one of my sharp mates said he put 2 units on it. So I was like, you know what, I'll put 2 units and I'll think about it later if I want to lose 2 units on a juiced under 1.5. It's been a while since I've done that, but at the moment, that's my only locked-in play with confidence. What about you, mate?
Yeah, fucking Fedor's 46, man. You know, he's as old as can be. I think he's going to get knocked out round one. Yeah, I love the play, man. Under 2.5. I don't think it goes past the second round. Should be round one, but take round two just in case. Yeah, it's a good bet, man. What more can you say? He's 46, man. He is one of the goats, but fucking, it's his retirement fight, innit? He's going to get KO'd and be done. And I think there's a trend, in retirement fights. I don't know if someone wants to put together some stats on that. How often, people win in their retirement fight. Look recently, Scott Holtzman, he sticks out, retirement fight, lost it. Shogun, retirement fight, lost it. I wonder what the stats are on that.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. Top of my head, Chris Lytle and Forrest Griffin, won. Beat Tito Ortiz. But the thing is, they're messed up because Fedor Emelianenko's Tim Johnson fight in Russia was meant to be his retirement fight. And what a way to go into the sunset, and he just said, no, I'll fight one more time, actually. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, it's because they can't retire on a win. That's the problem. A lot of them, Forrest Griffin and Lytle, if they're smart, they do, but a lot of them can't. So he thinks he still has it in him. And he's like, now I'll retire after this one. And now he's going to get knocked out. So it's just going to add to the statistic of people losing in their retirement fight. But yeah, man, the under 2.5 is minus. It's $1.25. I've actually been hitting a lot of those juiced ones recently, but it's just, I think if it gets to that, I think Ryan Bader's probably wrestling for a while. It might even get gassed. I think I'd just rather have a smaller stake on the under 1.5 minus 200. But yeah, man, we agree.
I was just going to say, do you never do any parlays, any doubles? Like Bader in the distance with Eblin. Is that not your style?
I do. I actually do have one here. I just didn't want to talk about it on the pod because it's a bit, I felt a bit square about it. I have Bader at the early line, $1.40, and I have Eblin at $1.55. So it gives me slightly better plus money and just half a unit to win half a unit. That's when I risk him. When I risk the doubles, I usually just do like half. Instead of putting a whole, because to reduce my risk, instead of putting $1,000 on a $1.40 beta that could potentially get knocked out in the first round, and Eblin that I think maybe has got marginal value against Tokov, but I think both win. I just put it together. It gives me plus money, and I only have to risk half a unit. So if one of them, whatever, lose half a unit, whatever, it is what it is. Instead of yeah. So I'm not like one of those guys that's completely against parlays. There's a time and a place for everything. There's time and a place for parlays. There's time and a place for props, juice. Last week I put 1,500 on Gene on PFL. It was playing $1.35, right? And it felt weird. It felt petrifying for me. And he did exactly what I saw on tape in every single one of his fights. 30-27, rocked him multiple times, never jumped in the guard. Just a smart fighter, and I will get behind.
It's nice when it goes your way, isn't it?
Yeah, like it's fine. But if it was $1.20 or $1.15, then no, I wouldn't have played it. But yeah, that's it, man. You want to do best bets for this? Same as yesterday?
Yeah, let's go. You can go first. Let's have a look.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. Well, it goes without saying that the minus 200 under 1.5 in the main event is currently my only locked-in play and my favorite play, other than that parlay that I just mentioned. So that's definitely it. I like that. That's, telling the world about that. I'm putting my under 1.5 record on the line as well. If people saw my Twitter, I'm like 1 wrong out of 20 under 1.5s, every single track bet that I've ever hit.
Nice.
So hopefully this adds to it. Some are juiced, some are pick'em, some are plus money. So, and someone said you might be jinxing yourself now, so we'll see. We'll find out tomorrow or in 2 days. And what's the other play? Like I said, I like a lot of these props, man. I just haven't had proper time to dig into them. Like they're all plus money, the over-unders.
When I told people I was playing the likes of like Larkin and Neal, I like that side. Someone mentioned to me that it was Black History Month. I take it you don't subscribe to any of that shit.
Are we talking about Black History Month? Or are we talking about narratives?
Yeah, narratives. I'll be more clear. Narratives. Obviously,
okay. I was going to say, how did he know? I don't want to get cancelled. I only got 200 subscribers. Yeah. I mean, what does that even mean? Like, does that mean we'll have to ask man of the library. He probably knows more than us. I don't know, man. I've got Peter Ishiguros, but it's like, quarter unit.
Yeah.
I kind of like Grant Neal, but I haven't locked it in. It's hard to give my second play here when nothing's locked in. I'll give you something now, and then I'll have a more polished out on the best bets.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say the juice on Eblin, man. Fuck it, -200 on Johnny Eblin. I think that wins. So that's all that matters. Just pick winners, right? So yeah, I've got the under 1.5, the under 1.5 rounds, -200. Really comfortable in that in the beta fight, and then -200 on Johnny Eblin. What about you?
Cool. Yeah, I'll give a best bet and best prop. So best bet, Grant Neal. I like the price. Already give the breakdown for it. Negate the takedowns, hurt him on the feet. Carl's declining. I think he gets finished. And best prop, I like Eblin in the distance. So, we both agree there. Eblin's going to do his thing. But yeah, I like him in the distance. I think he'll get a KO at some point. I really like that line.
Yeah. No, it's good, man. That's we agree. Like I said, I think there's some good bets here. You look into the PFL at any point? The lines just opened up for me as I was on the show.
Yeah, Evelyn Martin should win. Everything else is all chalk. But I can't even play Evelyn at this line. If they had some props, I'd be interested in some submissions for a couple of the girls. But yeah, it's probably a pass on everything for me unless I get some props. Yeah,
look, it's going to be a hard card to tape. I remember these girls. So I'm getting shivers. Thinking about taping these fights. Oh, well, thanks for that, man. Thanks for that. That was fun. Thanks for coming on again last minute. It's always fun with a co-host. But yeah, I didn't expect you to head back on this soon.
Yeah, it's all good, man. Good time, innit? Why not?
Yeah, you're always welcome back, man. We'll see how we go. So yeah, just let me know, and thanks for joining us. Good luck to everyone that's playing the bets on all these 3 cards: PFL, Bellator, UFC. And I'll see you in a day for my best bets. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe. Thank you, mate.